Hi, I'm Simon with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we're going to show you how to repair your appliance. Are you ready? Remember, anytime you work on your appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. In this video, we'll show you how to replace the evaporator fan motor in a KitchenAid refrigerator. It's going to be a very easy repair. Should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. For this job, we're going to need a Torx 25 screwdriver, a Phillip screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, a 1/4-inch nut driver, a putty knife, a pair of needle nose pliers, scissors, and a piece of aluminum tape. When you open out the package, you're going to get a new evaporator fan motor. This evaporator fan motor is located in the fresh food section behind the cover panel. It circulates the cold air inside the fresh food compartments, keeping the temperature at the desired level. If the temperature in the fresh food sections is way above normal and you can't hear the motor running, check the evaporator fan motor and replace it if needed. To get to the part, we need to remove both French doors. For that purpose, I need to take off these covers on both sides and then both hinges. I'm using a Phillips screwdriver. I'm going to take out this screw here that holds the hinge cover. I'll lift it up. Next, I'm going to disconnect this plug and this water line. Press down on this tab. Pull this apart. And the water line, we need to use this little tongue here. Going to lift it up. And then we can pull it apart. Next, I'm going to secure the door. I'm going to use the duct tape and place it on. Now I need to take out this two Torx 25 screws. I'm using the Torx 25 screwdriver. Alright, I'm going to lift up on the hinge slightly. And next we can take the tape off and remove the door. The door is very heavy, that especially left side door. So I recommend you to have Matt at your house so he can help you to remove the door. Thank you. Let's take it off. I'm going to start with removing the tape on the top. Now I'm going to open the door slightly. And Matt is going to help me to remove it because it's very heavy. So here we are at the right side French door. We're going to repeat all the procedures, putting the duct tape, securing it, and I'm going to use the Phillips screwdriver. I'm going to take out the screw and we're going to remove this cover plate. Alright, so I'm going to use this Torx 25. I'm going to take out this couple of screws and lift the hinge slightly. Next, I'm going to peel off the tape from the door. I'm not going to remove it completely. We're going to reuse it. And now I can open the door slightly and take it off the bottom hinge. Now we're going to remove the shelves, all 4 of them. Next, I'm going to pull out those both crisper drawers, just out, then lift and slide. Same thing, lift and slide. Next, I'm going to remove this glass shelf. I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to grab it and carefully, not to break the glass, pull it out. Now I'm going to remove this support frame by lifting the front end and then pulling it out. Next we're going to remove this chiller container. I'm going to grab it right here. There's an opening on the side and lift it up. Next I'm going to pull out both pantry drawers halfway approximately. So I have an access to the hinges. We are going to take out the hinges. So now I'm going to use this Torx 25 screwdriver. Take out 3 screws that holds the hinge on the left side. Right, I'm going to remove these 3 Torx 25 screws, same as on the left side. Right, now I'm going to pull out this pantry drawer, and I'm going to remove the bean. Lift it up, and I'm going to slide it out. I'm going to repeat the same procedure. Going to pull out the right side pantry drawer, grab the bean at the bottom, at the front portion, lift it up, and we can slide it out. Next, we need to remove the pantry doors. They are attached to the rails. I'm going to push this hook out and lift up on the door on this side, and same thing on the left side. And I'm going to push in the rails out of the way. Before removing this door, the left side door, we need to take out this box, and we have a plug inside that we need to disconnect. I'm going to slide the box to the side, release these 2 tabs, and pull out the box. I will use a flat blade screwdriver to open the tabs on the sides. And pull it apart. Now we're going to push on the levers at the bottom. So we're going to free the door. Lift it up. Same thing. Lift it up. And I'm going to push in the rails. Next, we need to remove this cover that is covering the plug for our lights. And it's on the left side of the frame. I'm going to use the flat blade screwdriver. I'm going to insert it into this slot, and I'm going to pry it open. Hold on to it, and go to this side. Open that, and we're going to remove it. And I'm going to disconnect the light plug here. That's our tab. Push it in, and pull it apart. After we disconnect the power plug here, we need to remove this the base, the drawers base, crisper drawers. So using a flat blade screwdriver, I'm going to insert that screwdriver into this opening, push it in, and we can unlock the tab. And now I'm going to unlock this right side using the flat blade screwdriver. I'm going to put it through this opening, and we're going to push the tab. And now we can lift up the crisper drawers base. Remember, we got the plug here on the left. Pull it out and lift it up and out of the fridge. So here we are on the right side of this frame, and we need to take out the cover so we can unplug a couple of plugs inside. Same flat blade screwdriver. I'm going to put it into this cutout. Well, it opened. I'm going to remove it. Next, I'm going to unplug these 2 plugs and pull it out, and press on the locking tab and pull it apart. Number 1 and number 2. Next, I'm going to open the freezer door. Next, we are going to remove this mullion heater, that plate. So I'm going to use this putty knife. I'm going to insert it into this seam here at the bottom, and I'm going to pry out this cover, mullion heater cover. Next, I'm going to disconnect the plug by pressing down on the locking tab here and pulling it apart. I'm going to put it away. Next, I'm going to close the freezer door. So we're going to lift up this gorgeous harness, and we're going to expose that single 1/4" screw there that we need to remove. I'm using that same 1/4" nut-driver, and we're going to take it out so we can remove this whole bar. Next, we're going to remove this horizontal mullion bar, and it has clips underneath, one on each side. So using a flat blade screwdriver, I'm going to unclip it. So I'm going to insert this flat blade screwdriver right there in this opening, and push down on that clip here, and slide out the mullion bar. Then we're going to switch the sides. All right, so on the left side, we are going to repeat the procedure. Going to insert the screwdriver right there, and we're going to open that clip so we can slide this bar. All right, now we can slide that bar out. Next, I'm going to remove this central support assembly. I'm going to lift up slightly this end and slide it out. And we can lift it up and remove it. Next, I'm going to remove this limiter bar. First, we need to slide it to the left so it will go inside the bracket to clear this right end, like that. Then I'm going to slide it out, and we're going to remove it from the opposite side. You probably need to hold it, and I'm going to take it out. Let's open the filter cover by pushing it up and then let it go. And next, we're going to take out the filter. You need to push it in and turn it counterclockwise. Be careful, it may have some water, and don't put it horizontal or upside down when you take it away from the fridge. Now I'm going to remove a couple of 1/4" screws that holds the panel. I'm using a 1/4" nut driver. So now I'm going to remove this LED panel. I'm going to place my fingers here, right where they cut out in, and just hold on to this side and pull it down. Now I need to disconnect this plug. I'm going to push down on this locking tab here, pull it apart. Now we can remove the panel. Next, we need to release 6 tabs along this cutout. I'm using a putty knife, and then we're going to take out the air tower. I'm going to slide the top forward. I'm going to use the putty knife here. I'm going to lift it up. Next, we need to remove this evaporator cover. We need to take out 4 1/4" screws, and I'm using a 1/4" nut driver. And now we're going to remove the cover. It just slides out. So to remove the motor, we need to pull it down, and these 4 rubber pins are holding it. So I will put a little bit of soap on those 4 pins, rubber pins, to make it easier to pull it down. So I'm gonna put some soap on my finger, and I'm going to put it on the pins. All right, now we're gonna pull it down. I'm going to use the needle nose pliers, and grab it on the top and pull it, stretch it so it would go through the hole easier. don't break it off. And now we need to unclip this harness. There are clips right there on the top here under this cover. I'm gonna pull the harness. And this is a smaller plug I'm gonna disconnect. There's a little tab here. I'm gonna press it down. I'm gonna put this harness out of the way. Then we need to disconnect this cover. So I'm using the pliers. You can use a screwdriver, anything hard. Press this tab up and pull the cover out. Now we need to take out the sensor. So we're going to save the cover and pull the sensor through the opening here. And now I'm going to remove this completely. And the last thing to disconnect before we can take the motor out, that would be the thermostat that is clipped onto the evaporator. I'm going to just push it off. And now we can remove the assembly, which is including this the thermostat, the sensor, temperature sensor, and the motor itself. So we also need to remove this mounting bracket from the motor. And there's 4 pins identical to this one that we need to take out. So I'm going to use I'm going to use a little soap. I'm going to soap this, make it easier. And I'm going to pull it out. You can use needle nose pliers. That helps a lot. Alright, so I'm going to put it aside. We're going to reuse it. This is the old evaporator fan motor next to the new one. If you don't have this part, you can get it from appliancepartspros.com. So this is again the new and old motors, and we need to do some work on the new motor. As you can see, this side and this side is blocked with the foam sticky tape, and so we need to do the same thing. So we'll create a channel that the air would be flowing through. If you do have somewhere in your household this foamy sticky tape, you can use it. If not, I have a solution for you. So we're gonna take this away, and this is our aluminum tape, and I'm going to install it on this side and on this side. Put it on. We're going to align this edges like that. I'm going to bend it. So we're going to mark that side. And I'm going to bend on this side also. You can use a pencil or a pen to do that. And then I'm going to get scissors to work. All right, now we're going to start installing those strips. Peel it off. Put it on the side. We need to align it perfectly. It's our one side. Second strip. Okay. So our next move is to install this bracket. So we got 2 sides, and we're gonna use this side where those pins are spread wider. I'm gonna put it into these holes, and using the pliers, we're gonna pull it through. Okay, now we're going to mount it into the fridge. Okay, let's install the motor into the evaporator bracket. I'm going to bring it in like this, slide it into the opening, and we're going to make sure that all four of these rubber pins are inserted into these holes. Then support it from the bottom, and using the needle nose pliers we're going to pull it through. Next we need to install this harness. I'm going to put it up and I'm going to clamp it into these retainers here on the top. And it's two of them. Alright, now I'm going to install this defrost sensor. I'm going to put it onto this tube on the rear one. Don't put it on the front one. Clamp it on. Next I'm going to insert this temperature sensor into this hole here. Pull it through. And I'm going to plug this plug. Make sure it's plugged. And next I'm going to install the sensor into this housing. Press it in. And this wire goes underneath with this hook. Next I'm going to install the housing on this evaporator. I put it the bottom in first, and I'm going to push in the top. And now we're going to install the evaporator cover back on. Slide it, and now we're going to install this 4 1/4-inch screws to secure the cover panel. Now we're going to install the air tower back in. This opening here, that frame, will be inserted into this cutout. This is the air duct. Let's turn it over and I'm going to start installing it back. Make sure this on the top, the harness is out of the way. And we're going to push it back and lock these tabs here. And now it's time to install the LED panel, LED cover panel. So we are going to move that back. So this 1, 2, and 3 tabs are going to interlock with the 3 tabs at the back there. They're going to slide it in. So at this point, I'm going to connect the plug. And lift it up. I'm going to push it up so these the tabs will have a couple of clips there on the top. They're going to lock. Next I'm going to secure this panel with a couple of 1/4-inch screws using a 1/4-inch nut driver. And now the time to install the water filter. We've got an arrow here at the back which is pointing up. That's the direction the filter goes in. Also we have a little plastic knob here that is also has a cutout there on the top, and it should be slide through this cutout. So I'm going to push it in. Press in and turn clockwise, 1/4 of a turn. And now we can close this filter cover. Push it up and release it. Now this limiter bar goes in. First I'm going to insert this left side in. Press it in all the way. And I'm going to slide the right side. And then we're going to pull it to the right. And now we can install this central support piece. I'm going to put it in. Push it down and slide it in. The important thing is that the bar has to be inside the cutout here. Right now I'm going to install this bar, the mullion horizontal one. We're going to place this in and just slide it evenly and press it in. Lift up on this harness and we're going to install the screw into this opening. That's our 1/4" screw, and I'm going to use the 1/4" nut driver. Going to tighten it to secure this horizontal bar. And now we're going to install this vertical mullion heater. Plug it in, snap it on, secure that plug, and I'm going to place it in. I'm going to start with putting the top in, and I'm going to press that panel in. Now we're going to plug in this 4 plugs, and you cannot really mix them around, so number 1 and number 2. Alright, now I'm gonna install the cover and place it into the cutouts here at the bottom, bring it up, push it in. Alright, I'm gonna install these crisper drawers base backing. I'm gonna put these the back end in first. I'm gonna put the LED plug into this opening here. So I'm gonna lower the base down and push it down so it will lock at the front end. And I'm gonna plug this in before we're gonna install the cover. Make sure it's plugged very good. I'm gonna put it inside, and I'm gonna install the cover. To cover up that plug, let's pull out the rails so we can install the door. And now it's time to install the pantry door. We've got these brackets here on the sides and the cutouts, and we're going to slide it into this hinge here and lock that lever. Release the lever, it locked. And opposite side, open the lever, slide it in, release the lever. And now I'm going to plug this in. This is our control on the top. And make sure that the tabs on the side are locked. And now we're going to install this cover box. I'm going to place this tab into this slot and lock this side into this slot on the side. And I'm going to pull out the rails. Alright, I'm going to install the right side pantry drawer door. We're going to insert this bracket into this slot here, and we do it on the same thing on the other side. Alright, make sure it's locked. Alright, let's place the bin in. The rear end goes in first. I'm going to push it in and lower the front end. And now we're going to install this bin into the pantry drawer. I'm going to place the rear portion in first, and I'm going to drop down the front. Now we're going to install the right side hinge, and I'm going to use this Torx 25 screws that we took out earlier. I'm not tightening those two until I'm going to place this one in, and I'm going to tighten those two. Alright, now we're going to install this hinge. I'm going to put these screws first manually. Those are old buddies, Torx 25 screws. And I'm going to use the Torx 25 screwdriver. I'm going to tighten. Alright, I didn't tighten those all the way, so we're going to start with this one. This is tight, and now we're going to tighten those two. Now we're going to close these both pantry drawers. And we're going to install the chiller container. I'm going to lower down one side, and then I'm going to lower down the other side. And now we're going to install the glass shelf frame back. I'm going to slide the back on first and lower down the front. Next I'm going to install the glass shelf back. I'm going to put it on. First the rear end, and then I'm going to lower down, support it carefully. And we can install the crisper drawers. And slide it in, let it roll in. Angle it, slide it in, and roll in. And now I'm going to install the 4 glass shelves. We're going to put the hooks in at the back, and then put it down. Same thing here. Hook up the back and then put it down. Alright, I'm going to bring a door to the right side. I'm going to install it onto the bottom hinge. Need to match the opening. Like that. And I'm going to put the tape on the door. Alright, now I'm going to put the hinge on and secure it. Align the holes. Yeah, there's 2 screws that goes into these pilot holes. And then align those 2 holes here where the screws goes in. And start manually. Make sure that the door is aligned with the cabinet. And we're going to tighten it using the Torx 25 screwdriver. Now I'm going to install the cover, hinge cover. Going to drop in this single Phillip screw. And I'm going to use the Phillip screwdriver. Going to tighten that screw. Alright, next I'm going to take the tape off. Yeah, okay, let's mount the door on this hinge. I'm going to close it. And I'm going to tape it. Alright, next I'm going to install the hinge properly. Alright, so I'm going to align the hinge with the holes. And I'm going to pull on the door. So align the door too. And I'm going to place this couple of Torx 25 screws in. And I'm going to tighten it using a Torx 25 screwdriver. Alright, and now I'm going to connect this water line. Insert it in, push it in, and I'm going to latch it. And I'm going to connect the plug. Push down everything, and I'm going to install the hinge cover. And I'm going to secure it with this single Phillip screw. Drop it in, and I'm going to use the Phillip screwdriver. Going to tighten it. All right. Now we're going to remove the duct tape. The door is in place and it's secured. Plug the fridge back in and make sure it's cooling. Thank you for being a part of another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. For any of your future appliance repair projects, please check out our other videos available on our site, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram.